Call this meeting to order. This time I'd ask Mr. Jamie White to lead us in the invocation.
Let's pray. Our Father, our God, our Creator, and our Sustainer, we just thank you for allowing us to be together. We ask that you would just guide us during this meeting. We ask that you just give us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as we prepare to discuss and vote on the affairs of this county. These blessings and all others, we ask in your holy and righteous name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I declare we have a quorum. We've got all members present. At this time, I'd like to get an approval for the agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes for May 8th and May 15th.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear from Councilwoman Taylor and Councilman White.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Only correction, the only problem that we had, which I made notation to the chair, he was absent. I asked that you please put absent on his, he signed it, the minutes. Other than that, everything is fine.
Okay. Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve May 8th and May 15th. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Welcome everybody. It's good to see a good crowd again. We'll jump right on into it. This time we'll go into public comments. Mr. Charles Allen, you got a zoning concern.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we recently purchased a piece of property in Sycamore, and it's zoned commercial. And we're trying to add like an awning out front for where you can come in out of the weather and we can display stuff that's for sale. And according to this zoning, they said we have to be 50 feet from a street setback. The building itself is not 50 feet setback from the street. So what we're asking is, can we file a motion to have a hearing to decide whether we can put this shed up or not? I've already contacted the highway department. They said they have no problem where we want to put it. As long as we don't cover the sidewalk, as long as we don't put anything on the sidewalk property, the state has no problem with it. And I don't know who passed this ordinance about 50-foot setback, but this building's been in town for 70 years, 75 years. And the concrete from the building goes right up to the sidewalk, which has been existing as long as I am old. So all we're asking for an appeals hearing to see if we can get permission to put a shed up there.
I was made somewhat aware of this today, and I was told that the building was built prior to the ordinance, so it's probably grandfathered in as far as the setback on the building itself, but any additional add-ons would fall under the new ordinances that would be prevented. So, I mean, but you can certainly go through the appeals process.
But the thing about it is, we purchased this property, and the plat goes right up to the sidewalk. And there's no building in town that's set back 50 feet.
I think the chairman is right. It sounds like it should be grandfathered, and I think taking it to the appeal committee would be the best thing. And if you have problems with that, then come back to us.
Okay, well, I'm just asking for an appeals hearing of what I need to do. Trying to improve the business, trying to build a business to help the county. And it seems like every time I go to do something, I got to fight a battle to get it done.
Where is that located again, Sal?
Sycamore, South Carolina, right at the main crossing. Right there, it's on Railroad Avenue and 641. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
have you been to Mr. Moe?
Yes, I have.
And have you gotten a ruling from him?
Yes, I have.
Have you asked for a variance?
Yes. No, I hadn't asked for a variance. But I'm asking for an appeals hearing, or do I need to
Well,
file?
what you need to do is get with him and ask for a variance, and if he denies it, then you appeal that decision by the,
Okay. I will do that. I've been through this
you know, that's the
process.
first step. He has to deny whatever you want. and
Well,
then
he's
you
already,
appeal.
he was there Tuesday, him and the building inspector. They called back Wednesday morning, They have denied it.
Right.
I
Well, you
mean-
need to get something in writing from him, and then you appeal it to the zoning appeals board.
Okay.
And it's not just his call, I mean, it does state it in the ordinance book, so he's just going by what's in that book, so.
Yeah, well,
He's just doing what's in
I'm a-
writing for him to do, so.
Okay, I'm
Yeah, talk
not,
to him and ask for a variance, and they'll get you an appeal.
okay.
And if you don't like what the appeals board does, then you can appeal it to the circuit court.
I've been through that, Walter. I've been through that twice. Like I said, I ain't gonna give up. I'll tell y'all now. Like I said, I've been through this twice, so. All right,
That's the process. We're definitely not against you by any means, but that's the
Okay.
process to take.
all right, thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Charles.
Y'all have a good day.
You too.
And you don't even have to ask them, you just do it, because the appeals board's set up for that. The county council doesn't have to give any permission on that.
Okay, so I need to talk to Joe and get a variance in writing.
Request a variance, and when he denies it, then you appeal it to the appeals board.
Okay,
The council's not involved in it.
okay.
But we'd like to know what happened on that.
Hey, I'm still waiting on DHEC. Been 6 months waiting on DHEC. And they ain't come yet.
Well, just keep calling.
Can't call them. Everything's online. You can't even go to the office.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Well, we put that in the hand of Mr. Black, he can handle that.
All right, thank you.
All right, this time we'll welcome our visitors. First, we've got Dr. Margaret Gilmore from Allendale County School District Superintendent.
Good afternoon
Good afternoon.
to the county council. I have asked to speak tonight because I wanted the county to know that I am retiring from superintendent of Allendale County School District. And I get emotional when I talk about it, but my husband said to me about 3 months ago, he said, you know, I'm ready to sleep with my wife 7 days a week. So I said, okay. He said, you know, you've been in Allendale for 6 years now, living in Allendale 5 days a week and coming home on the weekends. And we've been married for 39 years. And when he said that, I was like, oh, I better do something. So I am retiring, but I came to tell Allendale County how much I really appreciate you all for accepting me as family. Now, what I know about Allendale County, you all don't take kindly to outsiders. But I want you to know that you have embraced me and welcomed me to your family. And I just want to thank you for that. Thank you for all of the support that you've provided to Allendale County School District. We are a transformed school district. We are a better school district. And I appreciate the partnership that we've established in Allendale County. And I will continue to say this everywhere I go. This is the best school district in the world. And we have some incredible young people who probably some of the smartest scholars I've ever met in my life. And it is such a well-kept secret, the level of excellence with our scholars. But I just want to say to Allendale County, you will always, always be a part of my family. You all will always be in my heart. And I would never, ever forget you. And thank you all so much. I love you all. The things that you know, one of the things that I wanted to do is change the narrative that was coming out of Allendale County School District and create a positive environment. And we've accomplished that. And I just want to thank each of you, Allendale County, for being an integral part of that. And I appreciate all of you all's support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Gilmore, I'd like to say thank you. I know when you came into this job, it was probably a difficult one, but your hard work and dedication is evident, and we appreciate all that you've done for all the people out in the county. Next, Ms. Ann Rice with SC 250 and Allendale County Museum.
Good evening.
Thank y'all for allowing me to speak. And before I go to those, I have a couple little things to remind you of. The leadership meeting for the council, town council, and county councils is June 20th at 6 at the Brandt Building. And I had a letter I was going to bring and give to you, but I'll have to email it because I left it home.
What was the date again?
The 20th is Tuesday.
26?
20th.
20th.
Yeah, we said it at the last meeting. And Matthew, I'm assuming you're going to preside at that meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, thank you. The other thing, keep Allendale County beautiful. We want to try to beautify the town of Allendale a little bit, and I talked to Victor offering to buy the plants to go in the pots around town at a reduced price, and he said sure. And so I went down to get them Thursday. He donated all the plants as well as the potting soil, you know, for some of the pots. So be sure when you see him, thank him for being a good citizen and for doing that, because I do think that if you have flowers around, things look better and people feel more upbeat just seeing flowers, you know. And Ms. Jennings helped and Donnie helped, and we had lots of good helpers, so I do appreciate everybody helping. So that's that part. Now, South Carolina 250, we meet every month, and we have been moving along. We've gotten the $3,000 organizational grant that we wrote that is to put a historical marker at Burton's Ferry. And last time we talked about it, we discussed the DOT project. And so I asked Mr. Tyler, who is the South Carolina 250 representative that usually attends our meetings, if he would coordinate that with DOT and find out what we needed to do, because we wanted to place it right where the turnoff is to go down to the fishing pier so people could see it. And he said to go, it would probably be 2 years before they started on the project, and to go ahead and place it, and then when they started, they would remove it and take care of it and replace it when they finished. So that little problem is taken care of. The second thing is that Mr. Tyler also recommended that for the second grant we apply for, that we apply for interpretive signs to go at Cohen's Bluff that talk about the history of Cohen's Bluff and Matthews Bluff and the things that went on there, because there was a battle at Matthews Bluff also. And one at the fishing pier to talk about the importance of the Savannah River in the Revolutionary War, because South Carolina was a very important cog in the Revolutionary War, though most of us didn't know that. I didn't know it until I started working with this project. So what I wanted to do is, before I write that grant, I wanted council's permission to place those interpretive signs at Cohen's Bluff and at the fishing pier. So, because I don't want to write a grant for something and then y'all say, no, you can't do that. So I do need to have y'all's okay on that. So, and we'll probably be submitting that. I think that grant is due in August.
Okay.
So, and also, everybody knows the Battle of Wiggins Hill was in Allendale County, but nobody's ever known the exact site of it. Well, we're making real progress finding the site of that. So we're really excited about that, and I'll keep you up with further.
Ms. Rice, excuse me, did that grant you applied for, does it really match?
Not the 3,000. And I will come to you with the next one because they do require matching. I don't know how much, and we'll have to talk about how we're going to get that. So I would certainly come to you before I put it in and talk to you.
And could you tell us some idea where the Wiggins Hills?
I can't. They don't want it because they're afraid they get a lot of these hounds that come in with metal detectors and stuff. So they want to keep it under wraps for right now. But I don't think, if we're correct, it'll probably be in the next 6 months that we will have located that. So that'll be a big deal. I mean, if we find it, they want to do a lot down in Allendale because of that. So, because it's a battlefield that's been lost since 1780. So they really want to see that. The second thing I want to talk about is the museum, and this is not quite as pleasant. As you know, we wanted the voter registration office, and then I seeded that, and we gave you the building, and y'all were going to take care of the building for us to use it. And I told you I would apply for USDA grants to fix it, but I expected y'all to do the roof. Well, last summer, we got the 2 grants to do fixing, but not the grant. The roof that y'all were going to pay for was going to be the match for the 3rd grant, and we did not get it. But then USDA came several months ago and said that we weren't going to be awarded that. But in the meantime, I I went into the museum, I guess it was January, and it was flooded from water from a pipe that had burst. And Mr. All was great getting it cleaned up and vacuuming and drying it, and I have not been back in there, so I don't know the damage. But the second part is that, as you know, there was water coming in from the roof. And I asked the administrator several times that I put tarps over the two places it was coming in. And to date, I don't think a tarp's been put in. So I don't know what damage we have in addition to what I've got money to do and, to fix. So I would say that because the county has not taken care of the building the way they were supposed to, that the county should commit to bringing it back up to par the way it was when you got it. Because I just don't think that it was not my responsibility to do all that, since it was your building and I had done what I was supposed to do. So that's what I want y'all to think about. And I know money's tight, but still, responsibility is responsibility. So,
Did you file a claim, Miss?
ma'am,
Did you file a claim?
I have no file, no claim. It's not my building.
No, but do we have any insurance on it? It doesn't, I mean.
You certainly have insurance because it's a county building, so whatever insurance you have on other buildings, you would have on that. But I don't know that it was neglect, so I don't know if insurance would cover neglect.
But you just got the grant though, right? You said the grant just,
Um,
when did you get the grant?
Well, the other two grants I got last summer. But you remember several months ago, USDA person was saying that he was here talking about the third grant that was supposed to be awarded. And I did ask Mr. O'Ree if he'd heard from him and what, and he said he had not checked his emails, he did not know. And I don't know if you've gotten the third grant yet or not. So I'm completely in the dark about it.
Okay, we are too, that's all right.
So, I'm assuming,
We'll get Mr. All to go in and assess, we'll get Mr. All to go in and assess the damage and try to give us.
and also put tarps on it before it,
Right.
any further. I mean, I'm sure there's been more damage done,
Yeah.
And I've tried not to complain too much because I know y'all have a lot of responsibility, but I think the time has come to bring your attention to it and something be done about it. So, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
And you need our permission for the interpretive signs at,
Cohen's Bluff
And the fishing pier.
and the fishing pier.
okay.
And I will bring that back to you, because if there is a match, we'll have to figure out how we're gonna get it, maybe we get somebody to do it. It's not it won't be a huge grant, so it won't be a huge match. But
Right.
yeah, I think maybe it's 20% or something
Okay.
that we have to match. And it may be, I don't know if it could be in kind or not, I don't know that much about it yet, because I haven't even started on it.
Okay.
We're just still working on the other, so,
And when you plan on bringing it back,
I'll bring it back probably next month.
what we probably need to do, if it's okay with the council, to see the grant, to see what the match is before we committed. So we'll be able.
Well, I'm not asking you to commit to match right now.
Okay, good.
Next month is what I'm asking, but I will look and I'll let, Mr. Conley know.
Okay, we just need to know before we say yeah, because we don't know if we can match.
I understand that, that's the reason I said I'd bring it back to you before I committed y'all to any kind of match.
Okay.
I certainly would. But, and I don't think it's a lot of money, but I would have to see, we haven't done the figures yet, so I'm not quite sure what, but it's not huge. And I think having interpretive signs with the history of the Revolutionary War on those sites would be really nice with people going in and seeing it. And once we do that, it can be probably put on the Liberty Trail website, which brings people from everywhere because people travel the Liberty Trail. And that's,
And once you discover Wiggins Hills, that's going to enlighten it a lot more.
it will.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion that we allow the Historical Society to place interpretive signs at Cone Bluff and the fishing pier.
So, we got a motion and a second to allow the Allendale County Museum to follow through with the grant to place signs at Cohen's Bluff and
Fishing pier.
in the fishing pier.
It's the South Carolina 250 Committee.
South Carolina 250 Committee. You got that, Ms. Shruti? SC
And
250.
she gonna get back with us, let us know what the match is.
Okay,
before.
second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Philpott with Washington National and Standard Insurance.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Just a little bit nervous, so you'll have to be kind of patient with me. Hey, my name is Ian Philpo, and I'm an employee benefits specialist with CT Lowndes and Company out of Charleston, South Carolina. I'm an agent with Washington National and Standard Insurance, and I've been with Washington National for 33 years and Standard for 15 years. I proudly served the employees of Allendale since 2014, and in 2015, Ms. Thessa went to council and asked that I become the broker of record for the county. You voted me in at that time. I also implemented the cafeteria plan to the county. I come to you today as an advocate for the employees of Allendale County. Currently, I have 117 policies with Washington National, 47 people insured with Standard Insurance. Washington National and my competitor have similar plans, but their plans are less affordable. Until today, there have been no complaints about my service to the county or its employees. On May 23rd, I received an email stating that it was the decision of Mr. O'Rear and the council to no longer payroll deduct their current vendors. At first, I was okay with that. I called one of the directors in the county, and they thought I was aware that another vendor was coming in to replace me, and I was not aware. Every employee I spoke with was totally confused and wanted to know, sorry, I'm so nervous, wanted to know why I was not going to be their agent anymore. They felt pressured into enrolling with my competition. Everyone is currently happy with what they have with me and happy with their service and feel that their deductions are good for their budget. My competition offers short-term disability that competes with Standard Insurance, but their premiums are 3 times the cost. With PEBA, Standard Insurance has served as a provider of long-term disability since 1986. It only makes sense to offer the same carrier for short-term disability. I'm also able to assist with long-term disability claims since I'm an agent with Standard. A new employee that enrolls with Standard or in short-term disability with Standard has no pre-existing condition to worry about. Even pregnancy is covered the first day of the following month after their enrollment. The carrier that was allowed to come in, the way I understand it, does have a 12-month pre-existing clause on their coverage, and pregnancy is not covered for 9 months. I have got permission from these employees to share what they have enrolled in. Hammy Mays currently pays $15.11 per month for short-term disability with Standard. With Colonial, my competition, he would pay $59.02 per month. Kara Natasha Troy currently pays $18.47 per month with Standard. With Colonial, the competition, it's $53.40 per month. Kara's total deductions with Colonial after the representative left her was $270.88 per month. Her total deductions with me equal $127.74. That's $143 more for the exact same insurance. Corey Teeter, who's sitting in the back of the room, I spoke with him earlier today. With me, he's paying $171.75. For the basic same insurance, he jumps to over $320 a month. All I'm asking is that you consider me to be the agent of record continually. And Ms. Taylor, you were concerned how the employees feel. There's several in here right now that can answer your question. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, sir. All right, next up, Pierce Group.
Well, good evening. My name is Sharon Borden, and this is my partner, Ty Gaming, along with our lead benefits counselor over here, Dale Averett. Just want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak with you all this evening. It has been a privilege for our team to work with your employees the last couple of months, and just want to share with you what we do and the facts of the matter here. So, first of all, I want to share with you that we currently do work with Allendale County School District. Dr. Gilmore, love it. We have a vested interest with you all. Love our partnership with the school district. Dr. Gilmore, I am so sad that you are leaving. Ty and I both are Yeah, we don't know what to think with you leaving, but so happy for you, so congratulations. But in having said that, our partnership with the school district, we extended our services to Allendale County as well. So just want to go over those services with you so you know exactly what they are, what we offer, and what we do. So first of all, what we did was we extended our services to the county. Once we did, we were asked to come on board and extend those services. So let's talk about those services. First of all, we did a breakfast for all of your department head leadership team members to introduce ourselves, talk about what we do. Then we had individual department head meetings. Then we had our benefits counselors to meet one-on-one with the employees. So I'm just going to just simply talk about the facts and what we do. So advantages of working with Pierce Group. First of all, our partnership, we do not cost. There's no cost to us coming on board and helping you all. And there's plenty of parts to it. We don't want to be just a vendor. Anybody can come here and sell you anything. We want to be a service and a partner. We have multiple points of service contacts for the county and for also the school district. Anybody that we work with, we provide a website, a benefits website for you all. We have a book just like this that we provide for your employees, and online we have a book as well. We have 3 points of service contract. We have a service center that is available to everyone every day from 8:30 to 5 o'clock. We provide a mobile app and a website with live chat features. Now, I'm old school, we both are. So you've got the millennials that like using the chat features and the texting, but I'm one that I like to talk to somebody. If I got a question about a claim, I want to be able to talk to that person, and we have that for you. We also have on-site support and education for our employees. We have a team of over 40 people that we can pull from to be here on-site to help you all. Education, assistance, ensuring that employees maximize their benefits. This personalized approach has been well received by employees who seek clarification and guidance regarding their benefit options. We provide a simplified billing and streamlined documentation. We offer this through exclusive policies and services. This simplification has reduced billable hours for your payroll and processing, benefiting Allendale County during any audit or compliance checks. We're happy to provide those documentations. The next one that I will point out is probably my most favorite, educating your employees on their PIPA benefits. This is the biggest thing I think that we do. A lot of people don't realize what they have just from working here. We want to boost morale. We want to get them excited about the state health plan. What do you get when you come to work here just with the state health plan? PIPA offers a lot. And so to us, knowing and educating your employees on what they already have, then you fill in the gaps with anything extra. So PIPA perks has been a real positive for us in educating your employees on those. I'm going to give you an example so you understand where I'm coming from. Benefits like the no pay copay. People that have the state health plan, you have a whole list of PIPA perks, things that you get free because you work here. And one of them is no pay copay. If a person's diabetic, they have high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol, they can get their medicines free. I can't tell you how many people did not know that. But it's the same across the board. Allendale County ain't the only ones. Let me tell you, across the state of South Carolina, a lot of people, we just don't dive in it until you know it, you need it. Do you ask questions or know that? So what we did is we sat down with each one of your employees. We educated them on these PIPA perks. If you are female, you're over 40, you're going to get your mammogram covered at 100%. So depending on who our benefits counselors sat with, we talked about all those things. We also provided a voucher for everyone with PIPA. You can get your blood work done at no cost, 100% covered. So we printed out those vouchers. We have a PIPA coach to hook people up with to help them through that process. And we provided the participating providers as well. So we had that all on a website. And we've got our service center. Now I'm going to let Ty talk about the next point.
So our ultimate goal is really to help your Allendale County employees become better healthcare consumers. One of the ways we do that is we help employees identify duplicate or unnecessary policies. We've seen a lot of situations where a person might have, say, 2 short-term disability policies. Well, one of them is only going to pay out. So we advise them to keep the one you want, but you need to get rid of the other one because only one is going to pay out. We're able to add health benefits or supplemental benefits without health questions. So if a person had health issues, say diabetes, something like that, and they couldn't get say, life insurance before, through our products, they can. We were able to actually waive the waiting period, and they got credit for time insured. Those same products are portable and guaranteed renewable, which means if a person retires from the county or they decide they want to quit, they can take those products with them, same benefits and at the same cost. Our benefits complement the state health plan. As you know, the state doesn't offer short-term disability, only offer long-term disability, but we also offer short-term disability that fills that gap. And a person, if they go out for accident, disability, sickness, disability, or even mental health, it's going to pay out towards that as well.
And maternity. Ours does cover maternity benefits. And Colonial did agree to waive any waiting period. So there was no waiting period at all. So just want to clarify that.
We also pre-tax our products. Cancer insurance, accident insurance, and the hospital confinement benefit is all pre-tax. So that's saving your employees 29% on the premium. And on the flip side of that, the county saves 7.65% on the FICA savings. So after our enrollment, the employees overall save $14,433.95. So that's money back into their pockets as well as into the local economy. The county saved $3,724.11. Again, that's the matching FICA score. We did have a very high participation. Our services were well received by the county employees. 65% of employees actually participated in what we offer. And lastly, we were able to implement an EAP program to the county at no cost for the first year. And that's for the employees of the county as well as anybody in their household. So if a person needs grief counseling, marriage counseling, wants financial planning, they want to write a will, then that's what that EAP program can help them do. If the county decides to keep it and move forward after that first year, they can at a reduced rate because you're working with us. But if you don't want it after that first year, then you can simply step out of it. So like I said, our goal is really to help your employees become better healthcare consumers and really value those state benefit dollars they have in their health insurance. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I got to ask a question. Are
Yes,
y'all payroll deductible? Or
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
employees have to pay themselves?
Payroll.
We're payroll deductible, and I just want you to know, I guess to clear up any loose ends here, when our benefits councils met with each individual employee, they did have the choice to keep what they have, because it is in the best interest of several, that if you wanted to keep what you have, but it would just be self-pay, meaning that they would make sure that they made the payment, it just wouldn't be through payroll deduct.
But
Yes, ma'am.
that's one of the issues some of our employees may have, is that they already set up on payroll deductible, that now they would have to do it themselves. And some of our employees may not have a checking account or other ways or means to pay you guys. So another thing, they might also have other health issues that you're not talking. And just, if it's an increase in, are they aware or understanding that some of the premiums may go up?
Well, ours will not.
Exactly.
Ours will not.
Than
Anything
what
that
they
you,
already have, what I'm saying
Well,
is-
they was able to compare the prices.
they were
They
able
were
to
able to
compare.
compare what they have versus what we were offering. They were able to compare that.
Well, that's, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry that, I just have some questions because some of the employees are here that mentioned it to me. And if it's not correct, they need to stand up and talk. So we need to know as council, because we're being misled, what I'm saying. If the employee fully understands what's going on, we have no problem with it. It's the best interest of the employees of this county.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we had a rep here for, I think he says 2015, and if there's changes, I'd like to hear from the employees that's here to make sure we'll do what's best for this county. Because we got two different informations going on.
Well, what I had an issue with, Ms. Taylor, was we received the email that it wasn't payroll deductible no more with Mr. Philpott. But all of the deputies that work and my employees at the sheriff's office, we had an issue because why was it okay for the Pierce Group to get payroll deduction, but you just had to pay your own with Mr. Philpott, where we've been since 2013. To us, it was a slap in our face because now we had a choice. We either had to pay out of pocket or out of our account. But yet the Pierce Group come in and they could do payroll deduction, but this being in Philpott, they stopped him. To me, that's not right.
And one of my concerns was that this thing seemed a little rushed. A fellow employee of the county reached out to me and asked me what was going on, which prompted me to call down the street and speak with Ms. Hudson Christie and try to find out what was going on, because when the email first came out, it was like, you know, here's another insurance group, and I'm like, okay, I already got insurance, I'm covered, I don't need to necessarily pay this any attention. But then when I spoke, as the sheriff just said, it came across as if you either go this way, because we're not going to be doing this anymore. So, and then I'm like, what kind of open enrollment is going on in June, and where you only had so many days to kind of make decisions around things? And when he and I did speak, because I did not make the meeting that morning, when he was here at the courthouse, he had a Zoom meeting to go off to. I still had questions about things, and just happened to be in conversation like today with other colleagues. I'm getting bits and pieces of information that I didn't feel I was able to get from the representative when we did have an opportunity to sit down and talk. So all this stuff just kind of felt rushed and pressured, and like you got to do it now. And I don't think that was fair to me.
All right.
I was told this was the new vendor that was voted on, and if we wanted this group over here, we had to pay out of our pocket. We couldn't do direct deposit anymore.
All right. Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Can I say one other thing?
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up after that.
Okay, the short-term disability that's offered through Standard is a group policy. It cannot be bank directed. It has got to be payroll deducted. That's why the rates are so cheap.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, it's time we move on to council reports. I'll be real quick. As most of you know, we're still working on the budget, and unfortunately, it looks like we will not have it passed in time for this year. So, but we're working on it. Ms. Lewis and Mr. O'Rear have put a lot of work and effort into it. We still got a few things that we want to work out. So, hopefully in July we'll have an up-to-date budget for the first time in quite a while. Also, Allendale County is not in the handbook. Allendale County will observe Juneteenth as a holiday this Monday. The county offices will be closed.
Yay!
Some brownie points tonight, I guess. All right, and then Miss Ann alluded to the June 20th leadership meeting. I think that's all I got. I'm gonna pass it on over to Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things. I'm going to be very brief. About a year ago, we talked about the Rodney Stanley Emergency Center. We agreed to name it, so we need to go ahead and put a signage up, and that's been over a year. Also, we talked about the airport a few months ago about the Kathy Theron terminal. So we need to go ahead and just want to remind the council that we need to go ahead and do that. Also, we had an opportunity this morning. Councilwoman Jennings and I went out to the Martin Park. As you know, they're going to have the celebration July 1 and July 2nd, which is that Saturday and Sunday. And Mr. Hall, I think our chairman made a remark on Monday about the fencing, and we went out to take a look at it. I think it's temporary fencing. It should be adequate for that purpose, and that's what we kind of look at it as being temporary fencing. But one of the things that we don't want to neglect is for that event, we need to let the administrator know that we're going to need at least a couple portalettes in that area. We do have power to the provisions. Pump has power. We also have the water connected to each of the provisions. So I think it's going to be certainly ready for the Martin celebration on July 1st and July 2nd. So You can make a note of that, to have the administrator to look at the portalets, at least 2 for that area. And lastly, our golf program kicking off for the recreation program. We had hoped to do it on June 13th. It was pushed back because of the weather to June 20th. And hopefully we'll get a few kids sign up and under the umbrella of the recreation department, and we'll move forward. Thank you.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Will that be at the rec department is where we're going to try to kick it off? Where exactly?
It's going to be at the old football field.
Okay.
Yeah. And the time on that, we actually going to try to at least provide at least 2 days a week, and Tuesdays and Thursdays will be the session for the golf program.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Taylor?
All I have is, the coroner submitted, a request, or in the process of making a request, because she had to have 2 or 3 bids, and, to get her vehicle equipped. And I just wanted to make notation, I told her that we discussed that in the budget to find out, she should have a line item in her budget that she could be able to pull money from, but she's gonna get with you, because that's got something to do with budget, but I just want to make you aware that she's in the process, and she also, in the process of ordering the supplies and stuff that she needs. Is that right, Ms. Riley? That is from her office and stuff, but she may need some help from maintenance, the maintenance department, and Donnie gonna come put her new laptop and everything in, so we want to make sure her office get equipped, and she gonna need some help too, with the maintenance departments, and, take care of that. And, that's all I have. I'll discuss the rest of the executive session.
All right, Mr. Jamie White?
Sure. I'll probably be the briefest of all, and hopefully this will be the last time I mention this. We still have not come to a date that we're going to start the comprehensive plan. I've reached out to try to get some feedback about that today. So hopefully by the next meeting, I will actually be able to have a date so that we can move forward with that.
That's on the brief.
The 10-year plan, right.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. White. Ms. Jennings?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight, I presented the council, in which was approved, a proposal to our delegation Representative Lonnie Hosey, Senator Brad Hutto, for some money for our Office of Aging in the amount of $300,000 for interest and additional interest into the facility. Also for a walking trail for $25,000, and Representative Hosey said I needed to get a proposal in this month. So it was almost a sure thing that we're going to get the $325,000 for the Office of Aging, and the council has approved that tonight. I also presented the council tonight with a letter of support for Allendale Live for $250,000 for rehabilitation for low-income housing families and whatever to repair their homes. As you know, that we're looking for something really big to happen in Allendale County next year, and so we got to get our houses in order. So when we have visitors to come in, then we're going to look good to everybody. So we're asking for this money to help out in renovating some of our homes. Some of our other community leaders are also in the process. So Mr. James Brand, as you know, have several businesses out on Highway 301 North, and they're in the process of renovating their businesses as well, so that we can attract, because we're looking for over 1,000 people to come here next year, so we got to be prepared for those people. Now, I met with a certain person that's in this room. He's sitting in the back here, Mr. Danny Black, a few weeks ago. Was it last week? Or Ms. Taylor and we met, and of course, he reminded us of what we needed to do to get ready for developers or whatever is coming into the county. I requested some things in which he sort of denied me, he said I couldn't get, but he did give us a list of items that we needed to do to prepare our county for next year. And of course, I don't have that letter with me tonight. And also, I received a request from Mr. Councilman Marlon Creech, Town Councilman Marlon Creech, about the firing range in Allendale County. And I have some information for each council members from the Sheriff's Department, from Sheriff Freeman, who's sitting in the back, about the firing range, and is badly overgrown, in which the officers are afraid to go in there, afraid they're going to be bit by snakes, so they don't go in to practice. But by law, once they're hired, they have to practice shooting at wherever. So I've given you the information about the shooting range, and
I was out there today shooting.
yeah, and I sat in my car while I was doing that. But it was recommended that the shooting range be moved from one location to another, in which that was just a recommendation from, I don't know, it was from the Sheriff's Department or from whom to, was it from the Sheriff's Department?
It was from me.
It was from you, to be moved out by the airport. But that was a recommendation that was made last year, I believe. But anyway, that has not been approved by council. But I did speak to Mr. James All about the condition of the firing range right now. And of course, he's out of town right now, but he's going to see what he can do to get it in order until council make a decision about what they plan to do. That's yours. And then also, I would like to thank Dr. Gilmore, because our students that participate in the basketball program during the summer did not have a gym to practice ball. So Dr. Gilmore gave them permission, although they're using the elementary school for summer school right at this time, but they was given permission to use the gym twice a week during the summer school program. Now, I don't know what will happen after the summer school program. But anyway, they excited about that because I believe they have a game next week and they have not been able to practice basketball. So thank you, Dr. Gilmore, for that. And so that is all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Yes, just one second. I know when we met on Monday, we talked about having the department heads submit their budget or get with the CFO, Ms. Lewis, and I think a letter has been sent out to all the department heads, and I appreciate you doing that. And as Matt indicated, we probably won't pass the budget by July 1, but it should be very shortly after that. So we certainly appreciate that effort, and hopefully the numbers will come together and we have a better understanding of each department. And lastly, I too like to say thanks to Dr. Gilmore for serving the Allendale County the way you have for the past 6 years. It seemed longer than 6, but we certainly appreciate your presence and what you've done, and wish you well as you move forward. Thank you.
All right, next we've got the county administrator's report. Obviously, he's not here. Next, we have a county attorney report, Mr. Walter Sanders. Nope. You going to give administrative report?
Yes.
All right, sorry.
Well, clearly, if you look at the agenda, I'm absolutely not Berta Reed. But I wanted to thank council, and I would like to thank the department heads for so graciously answering my email and that call. I've met with at least 8 of them. They've come to me, talked to me about what their needs were, what concerns were. I tried to answer any questions, and I would like to thank them for being so forthcoming, and so many of them responding and making appointments very quickly. So things are moving along in respect to that. The reason why I did want to give this report is the detention center. So with Ms. Capers, there is an issue at the detention center with cameras. They have absolutely none. And I wanted to bring this to council attention because this is a safety issue. In order to get cameras up, at least 8 for safety purposes, the request would take at least $8,000, but it's an emergency, we don't have any anywhere. And this leaves them open to injury and their safety is at risk along with the prisoners. So I'm asking council to consider something immediately, quickly to approve that because of the amount of the expense and because of for their safety right away. Now, the entire project, we did all the cameras, we're talking $40,000, but just to get something up right away, I wanted to bring it for you and ask your permission if you wanted us to proceed to get that taken care of.
Could you give us some more background information? What happened to the existing cameras?
Well, it went down, the server went down, so they had to...
Is it the server that's down? Or
well, it's the server and the camera, so it's the system. So they actually need to replace the system. And I do have one of the quotes here, I have a couple of quotes. And this says 50 cameras and the server. This one, this is pretty much what they have, the surveillance, but with the existing company that they're already working with, they said they could get 8 of them up right away and working for them immediately. But I wanted to ask your permission to proceed in what you wanted to do. Did you want to look at doing the whole system or doing the emergency, what they need at this time so we can move forward?
And those 8 cameras will suffice?
With the server for right now.
Okay.
For right now.
That will cover the safety aspect as well as the security aspect of the jail?
For their immediate need. We're still going to have to finish the rest of the system.
Yes, I realize
but yes.
Donnie, you have anything to offer on that?
Yeah, she approached me. I actually gave her the second bid come from PRTC because I was asked last year to get a bid for them to replace those cameras in there. And then the server went out. There's 2 different servers that they're using for that. One's in the new edition, one's in the old edition that's over there. Most of the cameras that's in the older edition are old analog cameras, and they're not going to work with the new. So I gave her that bid that she got from PRTC is to replace everything and put it all up under their system.
That's the 40,000?
Right.
And the 8,000 is coming?
Replacement and, of course, the wiring of the one that's analog would have to be wired up with digital.
But the 8,000 is coming from the existing company? That's what I'm hearing?
Right, it would be, but it's not going to cover all the cameras.
Right.
Yeah.
But 8,000 right now will cover our needs, immediate needs.
Yes, sir. That's my understanding.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you have any more?
No, that's it.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we allocate $8,000 to cover the camera needs at the jail. I mean, that's something we can't go lacking on. That's safety for the officer as well as the inmates.
Does she have any money in her funds for that line item?
In the current,
That's a motion.
in the current budget? No. And what I could do, I could look at the current budget, currently what's in place now. I can look at that and see what I can do and get back to council. If you would like that, I could do that tomorrow.
I mean, before we put it in motion, we need to make sure we got money.
Yeah.
We just can't spend money we ain't got.
I don't disagree. You want to keep your motion? Or
I want to keep my motion.
Okay.
I second motion.
Got a motion and a second on the floor to spend $8,000 for 8 cameras at the jail. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Did you say aye? Aye. Any opposed? I'm gonna say no, just because of the unknown money situation. Ms. Taylor, did you vote yea or no?
I say no, I wanna know the figures, whether she got money. I think we're working on a budget. I think we're working on a budget, and we should know whether we got money.
It's an emergency, so we need to go ahead and take care
Well,
of it.
we could just say where we getting it from then. If that's the case, we know we
Well,
got
we voted
money.
now, we're discussing.
Okay.
We voted. So,
You asked the question, so
no,
that, you,
I said, are you opposed?
okay,
So
no, I'm
you're
not
opposed.
opposed to it.
So you're in favor of it?
I'm in favor if we got money.
Okay. Motion carries 4-1. Make sure you put note that I did not. Motion carries. All righty, Mr. Walter Sanders.
Okay, the first thing, since y'all talking about not being able to have your budget ready before July the 1st, do you want to do a continuing resolution? And if you do, for how long?
I
Because
think
you're
so.
going to
I
need to
think
have
we'll-
something in place
we'll
after
definitely-
July the 1st.
We'll definitely have a meeting before the end of the month, a budget meeting. I think we can do it then, if that's okay with council.
Yeah, this month?
But I'm hoping we have the budget, you know, in July, for our council meeting.
But do we, I mean, we can pass a resolution at our next budget meeting by the end of the month, right? We'll have a budget meeting before the end of the
Oh,
month,
yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah, we can do that.
We'll
So
pass
how
it.
long did you want it to be, for 30, 60, or 90 days?
I would say 30 days max.
Well, I would suggest you put more than that, because you can pass the budget any time and it would go away.
So what
If
you-
you don't do it in
what you
30 days,
suggest,
then you have to
Walter?
do another.
What do you suggest?
I would suggest 90 days.
Okay, all right.
We
We'll
have
do
that.
90 days.
You have that prepared at the
Yeah.
budget meeting?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, did y'all get the letter that I sent to y'all from the town of Allendale, from their attorney?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Ms. Hattie is here, you know, from the town. Who can tell me how to respond? You know, because this is the letter that concerns the capital project sales tax that was passed, and the projects that were designated for the town of Allendale, which no money has been given to the town for any of their projects, is what I understand.
Yes.
I think before we make a, decision, we need to see how much money's in the account and the list.
I think we-
provided.
And then according to the list here that was provided, the fire department in St. Mark came before the town of Allendale, according to this list of property. The fire department in St. Mark, and then the next item on the list was the town of Allendale, I believe.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, that is all well and good if, you know, you all need to deal with that. It's just that the town of Allendale has two of our buildings that are in dire need of some attention. We had spoken with Councilman Robinson probably back in maybe 2021 about trying to go ahead and get this stuff addressed. And we need to get moving in some kind of way to get some of the monies that the town of Allendale needs so we can address some of our needs for our buildings. Because they're getting rain in the buildings, which may create mold and things of that nature. We don't need people getting sick or anything like that, so we need to desperately get moving on at least two of our things on that list.
Okay, I think, yeah, we need to check. We need to get with Ms. Lewis and get some balances and see what we've got in there and see how we need to proceed with
But
it.
I think, though, that you're gonna have to follow that list.
Yes.
Well, that's,
Start on one project until another one is complete.
that's the thing we talked about over a year ago when Mr. Goodson was here. And I think the last figure we got from him, and I think Ms. Lewis may have indicated several weeks ago when we were talking about the bond, because we did a $3.2 million bond, so we could continue the projects without waiting for the money. And the last figure we got was like maybe $850,000 that's left in that account. And we've taken the sales tax, paying back the bond. So Gibson at one time had brought somebody on board to kind of run those projects, but it never got off the ground. And that's been a problem from day one, is not having somebody to follow the project to make certain that things are being done. Now, we did talk with the attorney who actually was part of the bond company, or the bond attorney that, from Parker Poe that actually did this. And of course, he's with Owensboro now. And our question was, can we skip over a project? It's pretty hard to do. You kind of want to keep it in order. And the problem, you know, this referendum was passed in 2018. And we say $3.2 million. At that time, over a 7-year period, 7-8 year period, we would collect about $4 million. So we were very conservative and only did a bond for 3.2. But the problem is, prices have gone up to a point that the 3.2 would not allow us to do all the projects. So we just gotta still take it. I agree, let's do them line item by line item, because that's the way the citizens voted. They voted on each one of those projects. So, and it looks like, Hattie, the town has at least 2 projects that.
I think we have 5 things total on that list.
Yes.
Our police department.
Yes.
Desperately needs some work, and
Sure.
then we definitely want to do some work to our community center.
And I think the next 3 items, it looks like it may be the town of Allendale. So, and I talked with the mayor over a year ago, and kind of asked him to kind of push it. So we certainly like to see the town go ahead and get with Bird or get with Ms. Lewis and see what's there. And
Did you say the next 3 items was the town of Allendale?
You got Fairfax in there too.
well, you
Well, we
have
have that.
that countywide fire station expansion, which I'm not really sure what that is, but I think that might have been the Appleton,
No, that was the St. Mark.
St. Marcus down.
Yeah, there's already one out.
Yeah, what it is, that's the fire station in St. Marcus. The next one, then the town of Allendale has 2 that fall underneath that. And based on the numbers we did back in 2018, you're only looking at, for those 3 projects, you're looking at about $400,000. So there should be, and of course, the cost is going to be different from 2018. So it may take up the money that we have.
I'll just say
We
we've
just
got
trying to scramble around and figure out how we can get, those things accounted for. And we knew, like you said, that money, that's 2018, that's the second penny, the 2018 penny, and we just haven't been able to get access to anything yet.
I mean, the mayor's been knocking on our doors, but I'm glad you've following up on it.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it.
Mr. White?
Yeah. I had a question. Whenever these bonds are issued, and I guess we have agreements with the municipalities or whatever, do we have structures of how it's going to be allocated, when payments are going to be made? I mean, are there agreements to, and then I guess if there are those such agreements, I mean, I guess I'm just confused as to how do we
Well, generally, when we do a project, we go to the next project. And say, for instance, the town of Allendale, if they got a roof project, then they will get the bids and get a contractor in place. And of course, once they tell us exactly how much that project, then the county, since we have the money, we will allocate the money based on their building. Now, what has happened in the past, we allocate X number of dollars for each project. And good example, the town of Fairfax on that community center. The $300,000 or $400,000 we did was not enough to complete that. So they had to stop. So we cannot go over that allocated amount of money. And the town would have to come with additional money to cover it.
Yeah, and we understand that. It's just that, we just need to know what the process is so that we can get started and get what the county is holding for the town of Allendale.
The mayor he's been told what needs to be done.
I say this respectfully, Mr. Robinson, we know nothing about that conversation. That's why we asked our attorney to present that letter to you all so that council to council, we can get moving forward.
Mr. Sanders, I think you should let them know that we will get the information together and figure out where we stand, and we'll be in touch with a better answer shortly. That suits council.
Thank you all.
All right,
I have one more thing.
okay.
This is for information purposes in regards to Project Lily and the fee in lieu of. I got an email from their legal counsel today that basically is saying that we are committed to satisfying the outstanding balance as soon as possible. That being said, we are concerned that the balance includes fee charges, free in lieu of charges, for years in which the property was not placed in service, namely 2019 and 2020. As directed by the Allendale County Auditor, we have raised this concern with the South Carolina Department of Revenue, and we are slated to discuss the matter with them next Tuesday. We request 1 week to conclude those discussions and finalize our proposal.
Okay.
And they basically wanted me to advise you of that that's what they were doing. So, y'all know anything about the fact that they weren't in operation then?
I think the billing cycle, Danny, if I remember correctly, that schedule that they have on that fee in lieu agreement is what DOR and our treasurer should go by.
Well, DOR doesn't send the notices until they file their annual report. They wouldn't do that until they were in operation, right, Dan?
I think you're right, but I'm not exactly
Yeah.
sure what the issue is, so I'll need to investigate that too. I'll see what I can do to find out about it.
Well, the issue is they haven't paid at all.
They've been billed for 4 years.
4 years.
They haven't paid any.
And they've gotten a bill for the 4 years of fee in lieu of. Actually, the original company sold it to Exelio, who's the owner now. And they were in the process of telling us how they plan to pay it. We basically told them how we wanted it paid. We want a third now and the rest of it before the end of the year.
They can
So
pay
they
it off.
raised the issue whether or not, looks like to me, whether or not they actually owe it for 2019 and 2020 because they're saying they weren't in operation.
And they may not be, but I mean,
But it
I've
depends
always,
on what the FELO agreement says about when it starts, I think.
Well, it has a schedule by each year, that fee in lieu agreement. Tell you when that fee is due. And if it was 2019, their lawyers and our lawyers saw it, and they should have been aware of it.
Right. So I'm sure they'll find that out when they talk to the Department of Revenue, hopefully.
okay, anything else?
That's it.
Y'all waited 4 years to find out you didn't get paid?
Well,
We
and
found out
Danny,
this year. I did.
Danny, we knew that. We knew that for several years. In fact, I talked with one of the attorneys. What we found out, the bill was going to the wrong location because it was resold. And it got lost in the mail. So, sir? Well, this was after the second year. We build them each year, but we put a little pressure on the second year, and that's when we found out that they had sold the company. And you would think the mayor would catch up with the new owner, but it never did. So,
All righty.
2023 is coming due now, too.
Yeah,
don't tell them that, Walter.
we'll certainly need it too. All right, under old business, I'm gonna turn the meeting over to, Mr. Robinson. I'm gonna recuse myself from the next ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This whole business consists of, and I will do the second reading of an ordinance to amend the Allendale County official zoning map for a portion of tax map parcel number 135-00-00-044, RUD-Rural District to Industrial. And basically what we're doing, we're taking a rural zone parcel portion of it, and we're going from RUD to industrial. And this will constitute the second reading. Could I get a motion from council?
So move.
Second.
Moving properly second. Any question? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Ayes have it.
All right, under new business, we have a support letter for housing preservation grant.
Need a motion?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we do a support letter for the housing preservation grant.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to accept the support letter for housing preservation grant. Is there any other discussion?
Got a question on it? What is, consists of and how much?
250,000.
That's the 250,000 you talked about?
Yes.
And that's gonna be for Allendale Alive?
Yes.
Okay. And since we have Dr. Mona here, I know we talked about the COG reaching out to the county and municipalities on the various housing programs that the COG administers. So is that part of what you do?
With the housing preservation grant, I'm not familiar with that, sir. I cannot tell you, but my promise that I made to y'all, was it last month?
Yes.
Yes. I've got a new housing person. We've got Wayne Battle back and we've got somebody else. And I promise to make sure that we visit every county council and tell you all about our housing programs this fall.
Okay. All right. That's my question.
Is this a matching grant? How much is it going to cost the county?
I think this is a support letter. It shouldn't cost the county anything, but I think
not.
No.
I think what has happened, Allendale Alive has gotten
Okay, I got you.
gotten these grants in the past.
Okay.
I just want to know the connection, Doctor.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And we need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. come from executive session back into open session. We've got a couple of actions to vote on.
Mr. Chairman? Yep. Make a motion that we allow employees to continue with payroll deduction on the Washington National Insurance, and also allow those who wish to go with the Pittsburgh.
Okay, got a motion, have a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second to allow employees to have payroll deduction with Washington National and/or choose Pierce Group, whatever they may choose.
Sure.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, make a motion that we adopt a CR for the next 90 days for our budget year 23-24.
All right, have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to accept the continuing resolution for 90 days to continue on our current budget for the 23-24 year. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Good job, Mr. Chairman, and I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.